Namaste, Jen. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
I am fantastic. You know, it's funny that I say that I'm fantastic because last episode, I started the conversation with "I'm fantastic," and then started a conversation about how crappy I was doing. So I'm not sure if I was lying to myself or just being, trying to be positive thinking so I could get through it.
Do you want to use this as a therapy session?
I do not.
Let's talk about it, Andrew.
Let's not.
Okay.
I feel much better this week, I think. I don't know. Maybe we'll see how it goes. I mean, I could devolve into some sort of crying fest.
Okay,
so.
I've got you.
No, you sure?
I've got you.
Wow. Okay. I think you and I've had a couple conversations, and I'm positive we've had a couple conversations via textual transmission this week about the idea of faith. Yeah. And I may or may not have thrown a George Michael gif into the conversation.
He did. Jeff? It's going to be a rough day today. Yeah, I mean, faith has been rolling around my head for a while. I think what I told you is faith is strange. It's something that we get attached to that makes us feel better about not being in control. I don't know, as someone who was raised Christian in the Christian religious aspect, and detaching myself from that view of faith and finding my own view of faith, it's just a constant reconnection to what do I see faith in, or how do I live in faith? I have faith that things are going to work out fine because I can't control the outcome, but yeah, it's just a weird word that's been rolling through my head.
Why don't we take a moment, think about it, and come back, and we'll talk about what faith is, how it applies in the spiritual framework, and then we'll just, do what we do best. Just riff on it.
Let's go.
This is No Expectations, the podcast where we have unedited, lively conversations about spirituality, Zen Buddhism, holistic living, and everything in between. My name is Andrew. I'm a lifelong Zen Bodhisattva. It sounds much more fancy than it really is. A part-time tracksuit tailor and an author. This is my buddy, Jen.
What's up? I'm Jen. I love a good cup of coffee, a long walk in the woods at a comfortable, moderate pace. And I love having these conversations about kind of living life with no expectations.
Namaste, Jen.
Good.
How are you today?
Morning, Andrew. I'm good.
Spring's almost here, right?
It is.
Time changes. Flowers blooming.
Spring forward, fall back. Yep, it is.
Oh, well, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
So thinking about the spring and time, and it seems like, with the sun going down later, we have more time during the day as opposed to winter where it's cold and dark longer. And
more time to do all the things we want to do.
Yeah. Are you going to do all the things you want to do with all this extra time that you get?
That's a loaded question. I would like to use my time wisely this
Every
spring.
question I ask is loaded. Have you not figured that out by now?
Oh, I know. I am very well aware.
I want to talk about time.
All right.
And there was an episode where we did talk about time, but we did a poor job producing that.
Yeah.
So we're going to take the time now to talk about it again.
Let's go.
Okay, we're here talking about time today.
Okay, well, before that, I have a story I want to get off my chest.
Oh, wow. Okay, by all means.
Well, and maybe it falls in line with time and wasting time. So, today's Wednesday. On Monday, I came out the gate really hot with I was going to get my shit together. So this is how busy mom is going to do that. Our lacrosse season starts this week, so I'm going to meal plan. I made my meal plans. I shopped. I had everything in the fridge ready to go. And so Monday, I'm preparing all the things that are going to get me through the week in terms of nutrition. And I threw 2 packs of chicken breast into my crock pot, and I went on my day. I seasoned it, and this was going to make some delicious chicken Phillies for my family that we would be having tonight. Fast forward.
When did you start cooking these?
Monday morning.
Okay, today's Wednesday.
They're not still cooking. Okay. Hold on. So first of all, the price of chicken is really expensive, and it irritates me, but it's fine. I go to take out the chicken and shred it as one does, and I realized that I cooked it with the chicken diaper. I cooked it, and the chicken diaper is disintegrated inside. It's all trash. $20 worth of chicken, trashed. And I beat myself up so much for not catching that, for not realizing it, for the waste of money and the waste of time. And I mean, you know, there's a part of me that was like, if you had just focused and slowed down and got off your high horse for a second, maybe you would have caught the chicken diaper in the chicken before you cooked it. Anyways, it's off my chest now. I feel a little bit better talking about it.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
I've never really heard it called chicken diaper before.
Oh, no?
No. But, I mean...
What do you call it?
I usually just call it that thing that's in there with the chicken.
That absorbs moisture.
But also, the chicken that I'm accustomed to doesn't come with any extra stuff in it. So that's a conversation for another time.
Well, okay. I don't know, man. I threw the chicken in.
So, hold on. So, I kind of feel like I get what you're saying. Like, you're concerned about, you were so concerned about utilizing your time, being efficient, being proactive, getting ahead of it because you knew that it was a busy week with whatever, camp or training or whatever it is, that you were going to try to use your time wisely.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get it all done.
Get it all done. And in doing so, you left the chicken diaper on.
Left the chicken diaper on.
Did you eat the chicken?
No. I thought about it. I rinsed it all off, and I did a quick Google search, which tells you you don't want to eat it after it's disintegrated the way it did.
Well, so that tells me that somebody else has gone through the same dilemma.
Sure. I'm pretty sure. Any parent who, or adult or caregiver who has had a child in potty training stage of life has washed a kid's diaper in the wash machine. If you haven't, congratulations on being perfect and not having attention deficit disorder.
I thought this was going to go down the road that any parent that's had a child that wears a diaper has eaten a diaper.
No.
I thought that's what you were going to tell me.
No. If we wash the diaper disintegrates inside the washing machine and gets over everything. It's
a disposable diaper.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is the same thing that they put on the chicken to catch the chicken stuff.
I think this is the content that people are really tuning into. I want to go back
to being a vegan and not have to deal with this.
They tune into No Expectations for
Thank you for listening
chicken diaper content.
Yeah, this was my rant. I'm sorry. I just had to get that off my chest before we moved on.
I kind of understand what you're talking about. Like, we're so keyed up in modern society about using our time that we sometimes make a mess of it because we're not being present, mindful. And that's what we love to talk about here, being present and mindful and all of those things. And then sometimes you take off the diaper and sometimes you eat the diaper.
Don't eat the diaper. You got to throw it away.
But again, we're talking about time today. Didn't really talk about like that kind of time. But what I was thinking about is the concept of that we all have the same amount of time every day, 1,440 minutes a day. And, how do we use that time that we've all got? Granted, there's some of us who may not have 1,440 a day. Maybe, we wake up and, then we slip this mortal coil and that's it. We didn't get that 1,440. But for the most part, we all get 1,440 a day on average. Yeah.
And a third of that is usually spent resting, giving your body.
Ideally, right? If hopefully. So what's the remainder of your day look like? And I guess what I like to do is equate the 1440 to money. So if you had, if you got, let's say $1,440 a day, starting at 12:01 a.m., and then at 11:59 p.m., you either had to empty the account because it goes back to 0 to 11:59, and then 12:01 you get another 1440. If you were spending that 1440 every day, how would you spend it? Would you spend it going to take a yoga asana class? Would you spend it mindlessly scrolling through social media? Would you spend it, getting into a Twitter war with somebody who you don't know and probably don't care about? Or would you do something real with your time, meaningful?
Yeah.
And I think about that a lot when I find myself maybe, fixating on something like a past experience, like, oh, this is kind of a waste. Like, I can't do anything about that. So why am I spending my current 1440 allotment on that? Because, spending backwards, spending my money on something that's already long gone, that ship has sailed, why waste the time?
Yeah.
Or sitting around.
Just scrolling.
And then you start to think, if I could, what would I do with this time? And is there better time spent doing something else that's more enriching, more helpful to my community, to myself, to the people around me?
I really like this perspective because it challenges us to, one, be in the moment, in the present, and aware of where you are all the time, as most as you can. But I think it also gives you kind of a tangible way of looking at your time and, your activities and your multitasking and all the things you're doing, and the ability to kind of scale back and say, I don't have to do that just because it fills my time. Right. I don't know.
There's the idea of kind of amusing ourselves to death, right? Where we just binge watch our favorite shows on Netflix, and then, what happened to the last 36 hours? Really, was it worth spending 36 hours watching a show, or whatever that is?
Yeah.
So, as I was thinking about this topic for this week, I picked up one of my books off the shelf. It's called The Homeless Kodo, talking about Zen teacher who was without a place to teach, so he would wander throughout Japan taking his message of Zen Buddhism. And he had a little thought, Kodo Sawaki, if we don't pay attention, human beings get caught up in the frenzy of earning a living. People always say they're busy. For what are they busy? Only to earn their bread. Chickens also look busy, constantly eating, but they eat only to be eaten. So do we you ever feel like you're just busy for the sake of being busy?
Just pecking, yeah.
Just sitting there, the idea of earning a living, we all have to do that at some point. But are we putting those things way ahead of other things in our lives that are more fulfilling, more enriching, more growth potential for us as human beings?
It's a fine balance, too, because if we go back to the technology aspect where we're mindlessly scrolling, while we're looking at it, a lot of the times we're seeing all the things that we could be doing, all of our peers, what they are doing. And so there's this battle of just going to watch all these people do these things I wish I were doing, and just keep scrolling. And then the self-talk where you're thinking, I'm not doing the stuff. I'm not as successful or as busy as them. So I don't know. It's a...
Well, that's a rabbit hole itself,
Yeah.
right? Trying to compare yourself to somebody else. And, again, there's no judgment about, if you want to spend your time scrolling, if you want to spend your time watching shows, if you want to spend your time, working out at the gym. It's not a judgment thing. And I believe the idea is that you can't come back and say, I never had time to go do fill in the blank because my life was too busy, right? And then you look back at your life and you go, well, I spent 8 hours of sleep. I spent 4 hours on social media. I spent doing this and doing this. And you can't come back and you can't use it as an excuse, well, I never had the time. Mm-hmm. Well, if maybe you cut out some of these things that are perceived as wasted time.
How are you spending it? Where
then
have
maybe
you
you could
it?
make the time to go do that fill in the blank moment, travel to South Africa or whatever that is.
Hike to see the sunrise.
Whatever
anything.
Yeah. You know? And so learning to understand that each moment is important and what are you trying to draw from each moment. There's more to life than just money. That experiences themselves have immense value. Personal relationships, being able to sit and have a conversation with another human being. And it doesn't always have to be deep.
It could be about chicken diapers.
It could be about chicken diapers. I can't tell you how many chicken diaper type conversations I've had with Jen.
There won't be the last.
Well, I mean,
now that I know
I was kind of.
Now that I know you're receptive to it.
Now that you knew that I had no knowledge of chicken diapers.
I waited to spring this on him.
Is that a joke?
Yes, it is.
Is that a spring chicken joke?
Spring chicken.
God. You've devolved into dad humor. Okay.
You were the one who led a quote about chicken.
Well, it's just this great serendipity of things. You start the conversation with chicken diapers, and then the Zen master has a thing about chickens.
Yeah.
Eating only to be eaten.
And spring chickens are coming.
And spring chickens. And wow, it's like we almost planned this. That would seem unlikely.
I wish we had that ability to plan around Jen's.
Yeah, we can't. I mean, I told Jen I wanted to go fresh because she told me she had a story before we started recording. Mm-hmm. And she said, do you want to hear it first? And I was like, no, I want to go fresh. But honestly, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. So back to the human interaction thing that we have with everyone we meet throughout the day. We talked about this before, and you labeled it very precisely as grateful goodbyes. Mm-hmm. And the idea of when you leave somebody, take a moment to be grateful for them. Say, hey, thank you. It was, whether just opportunity to communicate with you, to be around you, to share this moment with you. I am grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for meeting me for coffee. I'm grateful that you took time out of your day to be with me. Is such an important kind of closing of a human interaction. So.
I think it goes with not just people that we know, people that we don't know. And, I've been really practicing that a lot over the last few months. Like when I, walk into a coffee shop and I spend that moment with the barista telling them what I want. They take the time to make me what I want. I say, hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. You're a great human being. I'm not sure I always say it like that, but something along those lines to acknowledge the moment. Because and then from there it starts to kind of grow exponentially. Then you can say when you're hanging around your friends, like, hey, I really enjoyed this time together, top shelf.
Yeah.
And then to more closer relationships, the people that you see every day that you may take for granted, the people that you live with. You don't have that. Sometimes you just, I'm going to see them later. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, they already know I love them.
They get that. I don't have to say,
words.
Appreciate you. You're the best. Mm-hmm. And then as we continue that journey, we maybe get to the stickier people in our lives, the relationships that are a little bit more complicated for us.
Or the interactions, the poor customer service or the poor experience that you had.
Yeah.
Being able to still end that, removing the uncomfortable or the anger or the, unsettling feeling with a sense of, hey, you're still a human and I'm so grateful for you.
Right. So a lot of things to do, but I think really taking the moment to understand that time is limited and what are you doing with that time? Are you so keyed up about being overly efficient that you forget the chicken diaper and ruin the whole chicken? Are you spending your hours and days, mindlessly scrolling and with your head down and not looking and seeing what's around you? And then just once you realize that, again, anything that you do, it's not about drastic changes. First, you have to notice what you're doing with your time, and then you make small incremental adjustments. Mm-hmm. So don't go from, I was watching 36 hours of whatever on Netflix to 0 hours. That's hard. I mean, is that a cold turkey?
Cold poultry. Can we name this episode on poultry? Some people have the personality that cold turkey is the best way for them to shake it up and.
Hey, I'm that guy.
I'm a cold turkey.
It's cold turkey sandwich. I'm that guy. I get that, but I had somebody talk to me recently. It's like, ask me, what are your New Year's resolutions for and how are they going? And I was like, well, I don't really believe in that stuff. I mean, Jan 1 on the calendar is an arbitrary date. We all put this big thing on it, like the beginning of the year. It's new me, new year. No, I'm the same persnickety.
Never change.
I know. I'm that same guy, regardless of what the calendar says. But I said to him, I was like, well, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I've gone from, I'm cutting out all media from my life. And I said, well, okay, good for you. He's like, how's it going? He's like, well, it's all right. And I said, well, walk me through the parameters of this digital detox. Well, just no media. And I said, okay. So again, give me some firm details. Well, I like sports, so I watch basketball. Okay, I said, well, technically media, so okay, well, I'll give you some space on that. And, well, I need to do this for school, and I have to get on YouTube to do that. Okay, So there's some leakage there.
Yeah, but he's identifying that there's something he wants to change about how he's spending his time. And some people need to take it in chunks. And
right. Well, what I'm saying is, but go small. It's not about the failure or success thing. It's like give yourself the ability to adapt.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you got to go, well, I've only got 1440. I'm skipping sleeping. I'm giving up on this whole sleeping thing. I am going to be fully engaged all the time. I'm going Salvador Dali all the time. I'm going to take 15-minute naps with a spoon, and that's it. And we're just going to get, I'm going to be productive all the time.
Yeah.
How's that work out for you?
No, I spend 9 hours.
9 hours?
in bed. Yeah, I do. Most of it's sleeping, but the rest of it's reading. But
hold on. You should not.
Do you see the smog? I don't get to keep my beautiful self without all the sleep.
Are we still doing the compliment? Receive a compliment thing? Is that what this is?
So a couple episodes recently, or a couple days ago, we posted an episode where I am taking and receiving compliments. Please send them to me so I can write them down in my book.
I'm taking compliments. It's open season on Jen taking compliments.
Please send me your compliments. I've got 3 so far. We are 7 days.
3 today or 3 in total for the
3
month?
3 in total.
For the month?
For the month, yeah.
You've only gotten 3 compliments for the whole month?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. I mean, maybe you should get out of bed. 3 compliments.
There's probably more, but you know what? I'm still fine-tuning.
But see, the thing is, I sent you a compliment.
I wrote it down and I put
you
question
responded,
mark.
no,
I'm not sure if he meant this.
You responded, don't believe it, can't catalog it or something like that.
It's really hard to receive compliments.
It is. Is it more difficult to give a compliment?
No.
No? Did you find yourself giving people compliments?
Yeah.
Or have you?
Yeah, I have.
What kind of let me know some of those compliments. I haven't received any from you.
Well, the one that I've really been holding on to for a while is that hat is striking on you.
I know.
like a lightning bolt
in
to the soul.
In 24, No Expectations is going to up their game, and we're going to do video podcasts, and then you'll be able to really see what goes on outfit wise in some of these
Don
episodes.
Quixote over here talking about spending your time wisely.
Hey, I'm not out chasing windmills, all right? This hat is amazing.
It is amazing. It's got a feather in it.
It's not a feather.
Oh, it's got 2 tassels. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah, where have you been? We're in the same room. How can you not see this?
I'm sitting and you're standing.
Also, I'm wearing my leopard print shoes.
Those are just a staple now, right?
Well, I don't know about that. And then I'll have my Mardi Gras wear on soon, so party on. Okay, well, we have really drifted off the road here.
I think that's what makes us endearing. I'm giving us a compliment. We're endearing.
I'm writing it down. Okay, time. Think about it. How are you using it? Use it wisely.
Yeah. Think of it as if you have $1,440 a day to spend, how much you can have in the bank at the end of the day, and are you happy with how you spent it?
Yeah, it's investing it. And sometimes investing it in an experience is more important than anything else that you could buy. Mm-hmm. So live, damn it.
Thanks for listening to No Expectations, the podcast. We invite you to come join us and carry on the conversation at noexpectations.me, our new website, where we will be posting blog posts. We will link all of our episodes there, and you can follow us on our social media sites through the website.